Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining the Illinois Dressage and Combined Training Association Year-End Awards for 2020. 2020 was an unprecedented year. We didn't even know if we would have a show season. With many new rules that were added, we were able to compete and actually complete the show season. We thank you for your dedication, your perseverance, and again, your dedication to your horses and your sport. A big thank you to John Boris of John Boris Photography for actually putting together this slide deck and also contributing some of the pictures. Here's the mission statement for the IDCTA. The Illinois Dressage and Combined Training Association is a nonprofit organization that embraces the contribution towards education, self-accomplishment, and community in dressage and combined training. Through educational events, scheduled competitions, and social activities, we as an organization would like to support our members, equestrian and non-equestrian, toward personal goals and understanding theory to enhance horsemanship, skills to improve performance, and promotion to maximize the enjoyment equestrian sport has to offer. Here's our table of contents. These are where the different divisions or disciplines are actually located. If you'd like to fast forward through the recording, you may do so. We're going to start with our recognized dressage results. Introductory, junior young rider, our champion is Nori Bank, riding Marciano with a score of 74.063%. Training level, junior young rider, our champion is Sarah Cederland, riding Not Your Average Joe with a score of 67.974%. Our reserve champion is McKenna Salem, riding JW Emerald Cody with a score of 66.509%. In third place is Sophie Tracy, riding CLF's Hustle and Flow with a score of 59.911%. Training level adult amateur, our champion is Stephanie Clausen-Kubarth, riding I'm a Star with a score of 73.17%. Our reserve champion is Maureen Kenyon, riding Mr. T.A. Charisma with a score of 70.948%. In third place is Emma Kane, riding Mein Liebling with a score of 69.76%. In fourth place is Tina McCandis, riding Z Holiday of Legend Woods with a score of 66.94%. In fifth place is Deanna Grulish, riding Jaeger with a score of 63.621%. Training level open, our champion is Heather McCarthy, riding Piccalilli WF with a score of 77.194%. Our reserve champion is Heather McCarthy, riding Kalinda M with a score of 75.345%. In third place is Shelley Day, riding Galeto Negro with a score of 72.614%. In fourth place is Shelley Day, riding Catalina with a score of 72.276%. In fifth place is Jenna Strauss, riding David's Boudwin with a score of 71.595%. And in sixth place is Heather McCarthy, riding Due North with a score of 70.755%. First level, junior young rider, our champion is McKenna Salem, riding JW Emerald Cody with a score of 63.658%. First level adult amateur, our champion is Patty Combs, riding Showgirl with a score of 68.646%. Our reserve champion is Ruth Flanagan, riding Sherlock with a score of 67.523%. Third place is Belinda Chu, riding Felix Felices with a score of 67.066%. Fourth place is Emma Kane, riding Mein Liebling, with a score of 66.556%. In fifth place is Tina McCandis, riding Z Holiday of Legend Woods, with a score of 66.007%. In sixth place is Deanna Grulich, riding Jameson, with a score of 63.646%. First level open, our champion is Kristen Becker, riding Yatticus, with a score of 72.361%. Our reserve champion is Ken Borden, riding Tiamo's Royal Reed, with a score of 72.276%. In third place is Jennifer Strauss, riding David Boudwin, with a score of 72.116%. In fourth place is Ken Borden, riding Showgirl, with a score of 67.469%. Second level, junior young rider. Our champion is Alicia Berger, riding Trust Me, with a score of 65.275%. Our reserve champion is Nori Bank, riding MDA Maximus, with a score of 62.672%. Second level adult amateur. Our champion is Katie Miskovic, riding SF Lykenthorpe, with a score of 69.97%. Our reserve champion is Carrie Dorn, riding Rara Avis P, with a score of 69.268%. Third level is Patty Combs, riding Showgirl, with a score of 65.98%. Fourth place is Belinda Chu, riding Felix Felices, with a score of 65.327%. Fifth place is Deanna Grulich, riding Jameson, with a score of 56.557%. Second level open, our champion is Kristen Becker, riding Fiatopia, with a score of 72.589%. Our reserve champion is Jennifer Strauss, riding Forevermore, with a score of 69.167%. In third place is Kristen Becker, riding Atticus, with a score of 67.887%. Third level, junior young rider. Our champion is Alicia Berger, riding Trust Me, with a score of 66.082%. Our reserve champion is Alicia Berger, riding R.A. Cavalleras, with a score of 64.906%. Third level, adult amateur. Our champion is Deanna Hertrich, riding True Colors, with a score of 65.944%. Our reserve champion is Sari Wildman, riding Der Falcon, with a score of 63.453%. Third level open, our champion is Brittany Burson, riding Florinus, with a score of 71.594%. Fourth level adult amateur, our champion is Penelope Sachs, riding Frisbee 55, with a score of 69.263%. Our reserve champion is Rebecca Spellman, riding Contero, with a score of 67.34%. In third place is Jean Edemeyer, riding Amadeus, with a score of 60.208%. In fourth place is Sandy Spellman, riding Just Chance, with a score of 59.132%. Fourth level junior young rider, our champion is Alicia Berger, riding R.A. Cavalleras, with a score of 66.984%. For USDF Freestyle Adult Amateur, our champion is Penelope Sachs, riding Frisbee 55, with a score of 71.817%. Our reserve champion is Katie Miskovic, riding SF Lykenthorpe with a score of 71.65%. In third place is Emma Kane, riding Mein Liebling, with a score of 70.984%. In fourth place is Carrie Dorn, riding Rara Avis P, with a score of 70.684%. In fifth place is Belinda Chu, riding Felix Felices, with a score of 70.250%. And in sixth place is Sandy Spellman, riding Just Chance, with a score of 63.934%. Next is USDF Freestyle Junior Young Rider. Our champion is Alicia Berger, riding Trust Me, with a score of 69.15%. Our reserve champion is Alicia Berger, riding Trust Me, with a score of 68.967%. Our third place is Alicia Berger, riding Ave Cavaleris, with a score of 67.867%. In fourth place is Alicia Berger, riding Ave Cavaleris, with a score of 67.484%. USDF Freestyle Open, our champion is Adrian Pott, riding Hadrian, with a score of 78.633%. Our reserve champion is Kristen Becker, riding Yadikis, with a score of 74.9%. Third place is Kristen Becker, riding Amadeus, with a score of 73.862%. Fourth place is Brittany Burson, riding Rockstar R, with a score of 71.984%. Fifth place is Brittany Burson, riding Florinus, with a score of 71.467%. Sixth place is Jennifer Strauss, riding Forevermore, with a score of 71.284%. Pre-St. George Junior Young Rider, our champion is Alicia Berger, riding R.A. Cavaleris, with a score of 65.662%. Pre-St. George Adult Amateur, our champion is Sarah Stone, riding Gotham, with a score of 66.253%. Our reserve champion is Rebecca Spellman, riding Contero, with a score of 63.872%. Pre-St. George Open, our champion is Andriana Potswald, riding Atoftons Cherrick, with a score of 66.617%. Our reserve champion is Kristen Becker, riding Don Vino, with a score of 66.617%. In third place is Jennifer Strauss, riding I'm Full of Stuff, with a score of 65.49%. Intermediate 1 Adult Amateur, our champion is Sarah Stone, riding Gotham, with a score of 68.799%. Our reserve champion is Martha Piper, riding Leyenda H, with a score of 62.197%. Intermediate 1 Open, our champion is Andriana Potswald, riding Atoftons Cherrick, with a score of 65.662%. Intermediate 2 Adult Amateur, our champion is Heather Jans, riding Alain Delon, with a score of 67.451%. Intermediate 2 Open, our champion is Heather McCarthy, riding Au Revoir, with a score of 71.177%. Our reserve champion is Lisa Freelick, riding Alain Delon, with a score of 70.343%. In third place is Kristen Becker, riding Don Vino, with a score of 67.304%. In fourth place is Brittany Burson riding Jazz Dance with a score of 65.172%. In fifth place is Karen Rock riding Disparaton with a score of 60.784%. Grand Prix Adult Amateur, our champion is Heather Jans riding Emilio with a score of 65.598%. Grand Prix Open, our champion is Lisa Freelick riding Emilio with a score of 68.551%. Our reserve champion is Adriana Potswald riding Hudson 18 with a score of 64.616%. In third place is Lisa Freelick riding Liz Tech with a score of 62.391%. In fourth place is Karen Rock riding Disparaton with a score of 59.565%. FEI Freestyle Open, our champion is Adriana Potswald on Hudson 18 with a score of 72.582%. Our reserve champion is Brittany Burson riding Jazz Dance with a score of 69.175%. For our Journey Award, first through fourth level, it's Penelope Sachs on Frisbee 55. We also have Sandy Spellman riding Just Chance. Next, we will be going over the recognized eventing results. Beginner Novice Adult Amateur, our champion is Sandra Barkley riding Cooley Camelot. Beginner Novice Young Rider, our champion is Sophie Schrader riding Fernhill Prada. Novice Adult Amateur, our champion is Sandra Barkley riding Bruiser. Our reserve champion is Sandra Barkley riding Cooley Camelot. For Novice Young Rider, our champion is Mia Volpentesta riding Flipside. Our reserve champion is Mia Volpentesta riding Bora Bora Bound. For Training Level Open, our champion is Elizabeth Harrington riding Miracle Mona. For Training Level Adult Amateur, our champion is Kristen Kubish riding CMF Royal Diamond. Our reserve champion is William Barkley riding Storm and Hudson KD. Modified Adult Amateur, our champion is William Barkley riding Storm and Hudson KD. Preliminary Open, our champion is Elizabeth Harrington riding Vanity's Revenge. Preliminary Adult Amateur, our champion is Kristen Kupsch riding CMF Royal Diamond. Our reserve champion is William Barkley riding Storm and Hudson KD. Intermediate Open, our champion is Elizabeth Harrington riding Vanity's Revenge. For the High Point Horse Champion, our champion is Fernhill Prada. Our reserve champion is Cooley Camelot. For the Young Rider of the Year, our champion is Sophie Schrader. Our reserve champion is Mia Volpentesta. Our Master Amateur Rider of the Year is Sandra Barkley. Our reserve champion is William Barkley. Low score beginner novice, our champion is Sandra Barkley on Cooley Camelot. Low score novice, our champion is Sandra Barkley on Bruiser. Low score training, our champion is Kristen Kupsch riding CMF Royal Diamond. Low score preliminary, our champion is Elizabeth Harrington riding Vanity's Revenge. Next, we'll go over our schooling show dressage results. Green is Grass, Junior Young Rider. Our champion is Brooke Veman riding Frankly My Dear with a score of 71.262%. Our reserve champion is Taylor Brayman riding Toes with a score of 69.682%. In third place is Brooke Veman riding It's Going Down with a score of 68.039%. Green is Grass, Adult Amateur. Our champion is Brittany Decker riding Robert Sweet Thunder with a score of 70.287%. Green is Grass Open. Our champion is Jessica Derlis riding I Can Rock 18 with a score of 77.647%. Our reserve champion is Jessica Derlis riding Night Flower with a score of 68.235%. Introductory Adult Amateur, our champion is Kim McCann riding Real Fine Love with a score of 72.913%. Our reserve champion is Brittany Decker riding Robert's Sweet Thunder with a score of 68.76%. Third place is Kayleen Driscoll riding Wesley with a score of 68.5%. Fourth place is Christine McGuire riding Catalina with a score of 62.625%. Fifth place is Aubrey Davac riding Encanto with a score of 62.542%. Introductory Junior Young Rider, our champion is Kenneth Terry riding Tillman with a score of 69.375%. Our reserve champion is Emma Bialco riding A Little Miss Sassafras with a score of 68.146%. Third place is Addison Hayunga riding Lakeshore Grace with a score of 67.397%. In fourth place is Mary Catherine Slagle riding Brit's Little Cowboy, aka Oscar, with a score of 66.458%. Fifth place is Brooke Veman riding Frankly My Dear with a score of 66.199%. And at sixth place, we have Taylor Brayman riding Toes with a score of 65.229%. Here are our honorable mentions. For introductory junior young rider, we have Jessie Boucher riding Harvest Moon, Brooke Veman riding It's Going Down, Hudson Hartwick riding Picture This, Sophia Langwell riding Sterling Silver, Elsie Dehart riding Sterling Silver, and Allison Haig riding Aloysius. Introductory Open, our champion is Jessica Derlis riding Maximum Ride with a score of 72.1%. Training level, junior young rider, our champion is Elaine Koza with a score, riding Copyright VA with a score of 68.805%. Our reserve champion is Eleanor Adams riding Aloysius with a score of 66.748%. Third place is Sophie Tracy riding CLF's Mr. Brightside with a score of 65.69%. Fourth place is Clea Sterner riding Anzo with a score of 65.56%. Fifth place is McKenna Salem riding JW Emerald Cody with a score of 65.287%. And in sixth place is Ruth Lemna riding Bergdalen Merit with a score of 63.968%. And here are our honorable mentions for training level junior young rider: Abigail Mitchell riding Frankly Scarlet, Taylor Brayman riding Toes, Samantha Bilyak riding CLF's Hustle and Flow. For training level adult amateur, our champion is Jane McDowell riding the Anagram with a score of 69.579%. Training level open, our champion is Jessica Darlis riding Maximum Ride with a score of 70.336%. First level junior young rider, our champion is Emma Bialco riding Quinette de la with a score of 66.9%. And now for our Western dressage results. Western intro adult amateur, our champion is Bridget Thorpe riding HBF Lucky Girl with a score of 72.305%. Our reserve champion is Cecilia Conway riding KJ Coe's Harriger C with a score of 71.887%. In third place, we have Bridget Thorpe riding Hot Knot in Kentucky with a score of 70.987%. Western Basic Adult Amateur, our champion is Bridget Thorpe riding HBF Lucky Girl with a score of 69.755%. Our reserve champion is Bridget Thorpe riding Hot Knot in Kentucky with a score of 67.08%. Western First Junior Young Rider, our champion is Nori Bank riding MDA Maximus with a score of 63.75%. Next are our schooling show combined training results. Pre-starter junior young rider, our champion is Brooke Veman riding Frankly My Dear with a score of 31.875. Our reserve champion is Jessie Boucher riding Harvest Moon with a score of 32.645. In third place, we have Jacqueline Douglas riding Need No Approval with a score of 36.064. In fourth place is Abigail Mitchell riding Frankly Scarlet with a score of 39.375. In fifth place is Adrina Taylor Davis riding Generations Magic Shadow Force with a score of 41.407. Beginner novice, junior young rider, our champion is Charlie Witham riding Generation Serendipity Skies with a score of 33.195. Our reserve champion is Melanie Perez riding PM Antebellum with a score of 38.945. Starter novice, junior young rider, our champion is Eleanor Adams riding Eloysius with a score of 31.251. Our reserve champion is Sophie Tracy riding CLF's Mr. Brightside with a score of 36.945. In third place is Madeline Stramatis riding Zeppelin with a score of 40.139. In fourth place is Chesney Wilson riding Generation Serendipity Skies with a score of 40.889. Next, we'll be going over our schooling show mini event results. For starter novice, junior young rider, our champion is Melanie Perez riding PM Antebellum with a score of 36.645. Our reserve champion is Julia Common riding Winnie the Pooh with a score of 46.1. Beginner, novice, adult, amateur. Our champion is Alaya Hanna, riding Sweet Immersion with a score of 31.110. Novice, adult, amateur. Our champion is Heidi Felsen, riding Irish Laddie with a score of 32.15. Next are our TIP award results. Highest score, rated dressage, Ruth Flanagan on Sherlock with a score of 68%. Our reserve champion is Sandy Spellman, riding Just Chance with a score of 66.111%. Highest score, schooling, dressage, Kim McCann, riding Real Fine Love with a score of 76.563%. Our reserve champion is Kenneth Terry, riding Tillman with a score of 70%. In third place is Susan Cade Parker, riding Pinnacle Cane with a score of 68.44%. In fourth place is Sophie Tracy, riding CLF's Mr. Brightside with a score of 66.379%. Lowest score, recognized eventing, Ruth Flanagan on Sherlock with a score of 39.7. Lowest score, combined training, is Jacqueline Douglas, riding Need No Approval with a score of 33.125. In second place is Sophie Tracy, riding CLF's Mr. Brightside with a score of 35.278. Now for our South Side Classic results. Our champion is Sophia Langwell, riding Sterling Silver with a score of 63.5%. Our reserve champion is Brooke Veman, riding It's Going Down with a score of 61.45%. That concludes our awards for this year. Thank you, everyone, for your continued membership in the IDCTA. We look forward to the 2021 show season. Thank you and have a great day.